Yo, 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 Big Kish back up in here. We got the truth is again. You know he about to expose something crazy. Look, this is why they tried to unalive Tory Lanez. This is why, y'all. Check this out. Before we get into that, y'all make sure y'all pick y'all up a copy of Street Dad, Geek Dad, Avoiding the Manufactured Mindset, written by Big Kish. The link will be in the description. Y'all please go ahead and support. Please support. But yeah, y'all know I like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
A few days back, I covered the breaking news that Tory was brutally attacked in prison. Tory seemed to barely survive the attack, but thankfully, he was able to pull through and is making a full recovery. Now he's back in the headlines once again. This time, it's being reported that there's new evidence in the Mag versus Tory case that has been discovered, with it now.
The truth is, been on that. I'm just starting to see the sister for the first time. She looked just like Meg Thee Stallion. They look just alike. To me, they do.
Being reported that Kelsey's own Bodyguard is confirming that Tory wasn't who shot Meg Thee Stallion. Now this changes everything, and if this evidence can be verified, it could help free Tory Lanez. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. In today's episode, we will be talking about the new evidence that can prove Tory Lanez is innocent. Let's get right into it. Right now, we are all watching Tory Lanez fight not only for his freedom, but for his life in real time. While he was found guilty a few years back, today the world is being forced to revisit that judgment, re-examine the evidence that led to the decision to throw Tory in prison. While Tory definitely isn't a perfect man like most of us, he has his flaws. What it does seem is that he is an innocent man who is most likely paying for a crime he didn't commit. This new evidence that was just presented by Tory's team could prove that to be true. But before we talk about that new evidence, I wanted to update you guys on the stabbing situation that Tory is currently recovering from. I managed to find a bit more information on what happened that day. I have been further looking into it, and what I found further confirms what I said in my last video. First, it was reported that Tory Lanez was stabbed early in the morning and it wasn't in the yard. I had reported that the incident happened in the yard, as that's what the media initially reported, but it turns out.
So he had to correct himself. He's correcting himself now, because at first he said it was in the yard. It didn't happen in the yard. It happened probably in the middle, in the beginning, where they were probably eating breakfast or something like that. I don't know. The dude woke up early in the morning and stabbed Tory Lanez, right? He was meditating on that. That was premeditated right there.
He was just coming out of his cell when the attack happened. Like I said in my previous video, he was hit 14 times and was left with various wounds all over his body. Now the media has released the name of the suspect who was accused of stabbing Tory Lanez, and his name is Santiago Casio, a 41-year-old man who is serving life in prison for the murder of his underage girlfriend. This man was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole for second-degree murder, first-degree attempted murder, and
I don't hear nobody covering that. I reacted to the video that broke down his disgusting charges. Disgusting. Ain't nobody going hard on that. I don't hear nobody going hard on that. Y'all look up why he's locked up. Now ain't nobody talking about that. Nobody's talking about it. That's wild he's locked up for that.
Personal use of a dangerous or deadly weapon to inflict great bodily injury. This man has also gotten himself repeatedly in trouble in prison. In January 2008, he was sentenced to 6 years for assaulting a fellow prisoner with a deadly weapon. In 2018, he was sentenced to another 2 years for possessing a deadly weapon. If any of you watching this video today watched the last video I did on Tory, you would remember that in the first video, I predicted this could have been a hit carried out by someone facing life. This man was in prison facing life and was already known for attacking others. Obviously, this man had no issues taking money for a hit. All they have to do is hit up someone connected to the guy on the outside who collects the payment on behalf of the guy in the inside. Then the job gets done. There have been rumors that all of this happened.
That's that ginger. That's that ginger. So you gotta get that ginger up and get you going. You know what I'm saying?
Tory because he's paying off gangs in prison, claiming he didn't pay off this gang and that's why they attacked him. Some other claims are that he was behind on gambling debt or that he started a gang war with the Mexican gangs in prison. Now, the man who attacked Tory was a Latino from what it seems from looking at his mugshot.
And then there's a guy online saying that Tory Lanez tried to holler at the guy's girlfriend during visiting time. Whack 100 came out and said, nah, that's not true. Now, I just bit my damn tongue. Whack 100 came out and said, that's not true. I don't know if this what the truth is going. I don't know. We about to see. And I want to see, if he go that way, I want to see him back it up. Like, where you get this info from?
However, there isn't any confirmation or evidence to prove this was because of a gang war or because of any kind of debt. In fact, I strongly believe this attack on Tory was under orders from someone from the outside, someone who doesn't want to see Tory Lanez get out of prison. And this was basically just confirmed by Tory Lanez's team just yesterday in a press conference. Just yesterday, some representatives of the organization called Unite the People did a press conference where attorney Walter Roberts made the bold claim that Tory is innocent, claiming that they have new evidence to suggest it. They're claiming that Kelsey's bodyguard recently came forward and confessed that Kelsey had admitted to being the one who shot Megan, also admitting that Tory ran up on Megan and Kelsey to stop the shooting, knocking the weapon out of her hand, where it went off 2 more times.
We are here today to bring to your attention some information Unite the People believes is exculpatory in Mr. Daystar Peterson's case, professionally known as Tory Lanez. Recently, we've been made aware that a member of the media, Mr. Gianno Caldwell, was working on an op-ed for the New York Post regarding Mr. Peterson's innocence. During his work on that op-ed, he became aware of some information in Unite the People's possession regarding a statement that was given to Unite the People.
I was about to fast forward it because I know we already went over this this press conference, but maybe this is somebody's first time, so we're gonna rock it. We're gonna ride it all the way through.
By someone with information relevant to that case. The New York Post recently reached out to the prior district attorney, George Gascon, Megan Pete and her representatives, and Kelsey Harris and her representatives. The only party that responded last week was Megan Pete's representatives with a request for more information. A few days later, Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell. Unite the People represents Daystar Peterson in his appellate process. We filed an appellate brief and a writ of habeas corpus on his behalf.
Tory got a strong father, man. Tory got a strong father, man. I really love that, man. I really do love that, bro.
The district attorney's office has already responded. The case is fully briefed. We're just waiting for the appellate court's decision. We were willing to wait for the appellate process to play out. But given that brutal, unprovoked attack, we felt it necessary to come here today to provide you with this information. It is our intention to make a request to the governor to either pardon or commute the sentence of Mr. Peterson, so that when he recovers from this attack, he's not returned to a jail cell, but that he's allowed to go home and recover. Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Miss Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was witness to the conversation Miss Harris had where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. The passenger side is where Miss Harris was sitting. This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete. It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case. For example, there were 3 potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson, even though unknown DNA was found on the gun. Why wasn't Miss Harris's DNA taken? Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense? Why wasn't the driver of the car, Mr. Jaquan Smith's DNA taken? Or was it taken and again, simply not given to the defense? We don't know. It should have been taken. It is Unite the People's understanding, regular LAPD practice at a crime scene like that, anybody who's there, the DNA is taken. Another irregularity. Why, at Ms. Harris's police interview, was a non-lawyer, non-family member record company executive allowed to participate?
They said that person wasn't supposed to be in there. They said in any other circumstances, the people, just some regular, they can't be in there. And they let that person in there. So he's going over all of the things that, you know, was wrong with the situation.
Highly irregular situation. Normally we see cases, strangers are not allowed in these things, but it was in this case. All of these things point to the highly irregular nature of his trial and his conviction. It is our contention that he was wrongly convicted. And while we at first were willing to let the process play out, it is our contention now that if he is not pardoned or released promptly, he may never come out. And that would be the ultimate injustice, is that he gets killed in prison for something he did not do.
This new evidence could confirm that Tory Lanez is 100% innocent. If this could be verified, this could get Tory out of jail, something that is extremely important right now as Tory is in serious danger. Don't you think it's odd that after Tory made this tape from prison exposing Jay-Z and Roc Nation, this all happens to him? After months in prison with no incidents, all of a sudden he's attacked, just days after his team discovers this new information proving he was innocent. Now, if you saw my last video, you would have seen me completely break down the other evidence that seems to prove Tory was—
Hey, look, the truth is broke it all the way down. He ate it up, telling you.
set up, especially the connection between Tory's former lawyer Sean Hawley and Roc Nation. If you haven't seen that video, go watch that after this one, as if you're not already convinced Tory was set up. That video will prove it. It's clear that this attack was sent from the outside, as they were trying to silence Tory, as they knew this info was coming out soon. Now, like I've reported in my previous—
And then there's a video where Tory Lanez was in the kitchen. He was talking about how artists can make a whole lot of money without the record labels and all of that stuff. It's like cut out the middleman. They said that's another reason why, you know, it's a lot of false allegations going on against him. But yeah, it was something about NFTs and how he sell his records and all of that stuff. He said, I cracked the code. Thank you. And he was yelling. I was like, yo. And hey, look, it goes deep, man. It goes deep. It could go deep. We got to understand there's wicked people in this world. They don't want to be exposed. They would do anything. They got the money. They got the power to make any situation. They pay off anybody. Y'all see the situation with Tory lawyer. The lawyer just quit on him. Just quit on him. Didn't do a TV show that got the same title as Jay-Z's album. Like that, come on, man. Come on, man. We got to understand. If you run around here ignoring these evil people, if you just ignore that and you just want to be in the barrel, hey, look, I feel bad for you. If you don't want to grow, you don't want to enlighten yourself, I feel bad because, hey, look, them evil people, they coming, man. You gotta be enlightened.
Video. I have heard this story before, that Kelsey was the one who allegedly shot Megan. I honestly felt like this was what could have happened since—
Yo, they look alike to me. What y'all think? Not exactly alike, but like the same, like they kind of look alike to me.
Day one, as it made more sense to me than Tory shooting Meg. To me, it's more believable that Kelsey got jealous of Meg when she found out she was hooking up with him behind her back. That day in the car, she found out what Meg was doing. So they started to fight, and Kelsey, possibly mad at her best friend who is rich and famous and could have had just about anyone she wanted, went after her boyfriend. so she tried to take her out. Tory jumped in the incident just to stop it, and this is when things got worse. This was pretty much even backed up by one of the witnesses who ended up changing their testimony after meeting with the prosecution. This explains why Kelsey wanted immunity for snitching on Tory. Many people point to the recording of Tory apologizing to Kelsey the day after everything went down as proof Tory was guilty. People say that because Tory said,
"Oh, he was apologizing to Kelsey. I thought he was apologizing to Meg Thee Stallion. And that's why they say he did it, because he was apologizing to Meg. Oh, so I'm confused.
Just about anyone she wanted went after her boyfriend, so she tried to take her out. Tory jumped in the incident just to stop it, and this is when things got worse. This was pretty much even backed up by one of the witnesses who ended up changing their testimony after meeting with the prosecution. This explains why Kelsey wanted immunity for snitching on Tory. Many people point to the recording of Tory apologizing to Kelsey the day after everything went down as proof Tory was guilty. People say that because Tory said sorry, he admitted to doing the crime. The thing is, this sorry could have been for anything that have happened that day. He could have said sorry for something he said during the argument, or for cheating on Kelsey with Meg.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, what if he was just saying sorry for cheating on him? Hold on, let me rewind.
The thing is, this sorry could have been for anything that have happened that day. He could have said sorry for something he said during the argument, or for cheating on Kelsey with Meg. There could have been many reasons for this apology, but it makes no sense to assume.
So he was in a relationship with Kelsey and start smashing Meg Thee Stallion. He goes and apologize, ain't say what for. There's a recording apologizing for what he put her through, and he's apologizing to Kelsey. Got it.
He would be dumb enough to snitch on himself the day after it happened. In my opinion, Tory didn't do this. In fact, Megan wasn't even pinning it on Tory at first. I believe, and this is just my opinion, that Rock Nation instructed them to go after Tory, as Tory had allegedly turned.
Megan was saying she trying to take it for the tape. She was trying to protect everybody. I seen that clip. That's why she wasn't saying that. She was like, "Yeah, I ain't want nobody to go down." You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's get into what he's saying about Rock Nation. This is what I come for. This is the part I come for.
On Tory at first. I believe, and this is just my opinion, that Rock Nation instructed them to go after Tory, as Tory had allegedly turned down a deal with them and also spoke out about signing to record deals. I believe Rock Nation or others saw this incident as the perfect opportunity to bring Tory down. Again, in my opinion, it could be possible that any one of these labels, including Rock Nation, could have made this all happen. Now we're getting information that Kelsey's very own Bodyguard overheard her confessing to doing the crime. This could be the evidence that should change everything. And I say should because we know how corrupt the system is. That's exactly how Tory got in there to begin with. Corruption. In another part of the conference, a woman, a part of the Unite the People.
When you a billionaire and you dealing with people that's used to getting paid $200,000 a year, $100,000 a year, maybe $300,000 a year. You're a billionaire, you could pay all of them $1 million. You could pay all of them $1 million. You could pay whoever $1 million, and they'll switch up everything. This is the stuff that I don't ignore. I don't ignore stuff like this. When you ignore stuff like this, you just put yourself in these wicked people's hands. I don't ignore stuff like this.
Team came out and basically confirmed what I said in my last video.
Itself. That's why I'm speaking out today for Daystar Peterson, better known to the world as Tory Lanez. This isn't about fame. It isn't about celebrity. It's about fairness. Tory Lanez doesn't want special treatment. He's demanding equal treatment. And if we Americans still believe in a system where guilty must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, then we must admit this case raises serious concerns. Because the truth is, Tory Lanez is serving a 10-year sentence for a crime that evidence, which laid out here today, overwhelmingly suggests he did not commit. Let's go back to the night in question, just like Gianna was just talking about in the attorneys. As the attorneys laid out here.
Hey, her facial expressions is distracting me. Look at the girl. Look at the girl behind her. Look at the girl behind her. She's distracted me.
Today, the prosecution failed to produce a single shred of forensic evidence tying Tory to the actual gun. His fingerprints weren't on it. His DNA was later found.
Hey, yo, who blinked their eyes like that, yo? That's gotta be an NPC. Look how she blinking her eyes. She blinking her eyes like 5 times in a row.
To be 100% nearly excluded from the gun, as shown in the worksheet that was provided to the defense late on the eve of the actual trial, after making a request for that very document.
Oh, damn, what'd she say? This is why I never could see. This is why I wasn't good in school. I'm not paying attention. What'd she say?
His fingerprints weren't on it. His DNA was later found to be 100% nearly excluded from the gun, as shown in the worksheet that was provided to the defense late on the eve of the actual trial, after making a request for that very document. After trial, looking at this evidence, there is a 0.01% chance Tory's DNA was on the firearm.
Wow.
That's a difficult statistic to equate with the story as told by the prosecution, which may be why this was not present in trial. In fact, there were 3 people that night at the scene who tested positive for gunshot residues. One of those was Kelsey Harris, as Gianno mentioned, the assistant to Megan Pete.
See, the thing is that the system's so corrupt. Where's the gun at now? Where's the gun at now, and whose control is the gun up under? Is it in the evidence room? But who's in control of that evidence room? Is that person compromised? This is the thing. It gets wicked when you climbing up the ladder, man.
According to multiple sworn testaments that you've heard today, including one from the bodyguard and driver with Harris on the 2 days of the trial, Harris admitted to firing the weapon during an emotional outburst. Tory intervened to de-escalate, not to harm. It is important to note, the police did not fingerprint anyone else who had gunshot residue on them that night, only Tory. Why? Even more troubling, the investigation itself was a disaster. Bullet fragments disappeared. The gun serial number was sealed, a move that blocked the defense from investigating ownership. Police failed to follow standard procedures. Why? Didn't mark shell casings on the road and didn't test others involved that night with DNA. This wasn't justice.
They didn't mark the shell casings. I've seen crime scenes before. They marked them shell casings. That's why you always hear some rapper talking about some outlined in chalk, but they talking about the body. But that chalk, they gonna mark them shell casings, right?
Police failed to follow standard procedures. Why? Didn't mark shell casings on the road and didn't test others involved that night with DNA. This wasn't justice. It was a rush to judgment. Worse still, the prosecution knew that.
But one could say if it happened in the car, it wouldn't be no shell casings outside on the road, right? So that could be debunked as well.
Case was thin. So what did they do? They tacked on gun enhancements, just like they spoke about. Let's be blunt. This prosecution had everything to do with headlines and very little to do with truth. It was about symbolism, not substance. And that should concern every single one of you here today and in this country. Because when the facts take a back seat to identity, when due process is sacrificed for public spectacle, we all lose. Timing of these events raised disturbing questions to me, and I think they all should to you as well. After over 2 years in prison without incident, Tory was stabbed 14 times just days after a major national news outlet reached out to Megan Pete's team, Kelsey Harris, and former DA George Gascon about a story on new evidence in this case. You don't have to believe in conspiracies to see the pattern. When evidence was about to come to light, Tory was nearly killed.
As you can see, everyone can tell exactly what this is. Tory was being targeted because his team got the evidence they needed to get him out. Those who put him in there know that if this blows up in their face, it's gonna be bad. So they try to make Tory disappear. One thing that I found very powerful about this conference was Tory's father. He spent this time giving the credit to Jesus for Tory's recovery, saying prayers and thanking God.
I respect that. I respect that. Look, I don't hear Meg Thee Stallion talking about Christ, bro. I'm gonna just be honest with you,
for saving his son.
The reason why he bears the name Daystar is because I was scheduled to speak in a conference in Washington, D.C. back in the early 2000s. I was up praying before that conference that I was supposed to speak at that evening. As I paced back and forth in my hotel suite praying, I began to quote the scripture from 2 Peter chapter 1, and it states, "For you will do well to take heed as unto a light shining in a dark place, until the day dawns and the day star arises in your heart." I didn't know whether it was a boy or girl in my late wife's womb, but I heard the Holy Spirit said to me, that is the name of your child. That's why he bears that name today. And so I'm going to pray a very short prayer before I get started here today. And I'm going to pray that in the spirit of when Jesus Christ.
If you know the scriptures, angels came to Mary and said, and told her about the son that she had in her. You know what I'm saying? So this is powerful. This is powerful.
The Son of the living God stood before Pontius Pilate. Pontius said, "Why do you not speak? Do you not know that I have the power to crucify you or to let you go free?" It was only one of the times that Jesus ever spoke. He said, "You would not have power over me unless God Almighty gave it to you today." And I have come to bear witness of the truth. Upon which Pontius Pilate replied, "What is truth?" That question was never answered in Pilate's judgment hall. But I answer it for you today because Jesus Christ himself told us what the truth was. Truth is not a philosophy. It's not an ideology. It's not a doctrine. And it certainly is not a religion. Truth is a person. His name is Jesus Christ, who said, "I am the way, the truth that leads you to life." Father, upon the basis of your word today that this nation was founded upon, I ask that every ear that needs to be opened, including the ear of the governor of the state of California, Gavin Newsom, I'm even asking today that in the midst of Mr. Trump's busy schedule as president of the United States, that this would come into his...
She can't close her eyes. I think her lashes is messed up. That's why she keep blinking like that. She like, I think one of them lashes scratching her eyes. Oh, poor sister. Y'all pray for the sister, man.
His hearing. And so, Father, I ask you today, by your spirit, because you're the only reason why my son is yet alive.
Them lashes fucking
have your
up.
way. And let this be glorifying your name. I thank you for it in Jesus' name. I want to dispel a few rumors because I've been asked to by my son, Daystar, aka Tory Lanez. Number one, Daystar does not have a drinking problem. Daystar did not suffer superficial wounds. He was stabbed 14 times. After that, he was being rushed to a facility nearby in a vehicle in which he said, and I quote, "Dad, I thought it was my last." And having made my peace with God, I said, okay, God, is this how it's supposed to end for me? But God said no. God told him, "Do not give up," in the car, upon which he turned to the attending officers and he said, "You must get me to wherever is the closest place that I can get to. I'm bleeding out here." He didn't even know his lungs had collapsed. All he knows is that he couldn't breathe. He could hardly speak. Upon which the officer turned around and looked at him and said, "Nah, we got to take him. He has to be airlifted." And thankfully, to God be the glory.
As you can see, Tory's father is fighting the battle with God. It's clear that God had a say in Tory's survival, as being hit 14 times would take out most men. After this press conference, I believe that Tory should...
I'm not going to stop talking about it. Again, Tory is small. He's a small guy. 14 times? 14.
at least get another trial. But considering the courts are owned by Masons, who knows if Tory will ever get the second chance to prove his innocence. Regardless, it's good to see him and his family stand up for the truth. At this point, Tory represents standing up for the truth, and hopefully, he will get a chance to prove he's been telling the truth the entire time. Well, I'm gonna end this one here.
Man.
I want to thank you.
Yeah, that's wild. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the situation. I don't know, man. I know it's real messy. Very, very, very messy. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the whole situation, man. This is crazy. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.